So, once upon a time, in a land far away called California, there was a young man who had graduated from college and had, not many prospects. And he had heard in the news that, there was some good money to be made in these troubled times we live in, chasing immigrants around the border. And he thought to himself, well, that seems like a career that I could reasonably do well. And so he went on and joined the service and got a 2-week training and, got a little badge and a gun. He learned how to do this kind of menacing walk and search cars and trucks. And he was posted in a small, dusty border crossing and told to basically search suspicious vehicles. On his first day on the job, this big red truck appears, out of the hazy horizon. He sort of looks at it through his silvery Ray-Bans and says, it's going to be a great first day. So he does a swagger over to the truck, puts his hand up, sir, please stop. And the truck stops, and he searches the truck up and down. The glove compartment, the winch, everywhere. And he finds nothing. It drives him crazy. But he says to himself, that's not the last time I'm going to see this truck. I'm going to be ready. And so, the following month, exactly the same day, at exactly the same time, out of the hazy horizon, the red truck returns. But our man is ready. He has one of those, ultraviolet light things that could detect all kinds of, drugs and substances and gunpowder. And, he giddily runs over to the truck and he stops it, waves it down. And he jumps on board like a cowboy on his horse. He sort of looks all around, waves it up and down, looking for drugs, looking for gunpowder. He finds nothing. He thinks to himself, God damn it, I'm going to be even readier. And so the following month, same day, same time, hazy horizon, truck. Our guy has 16 hounds. And he unleashes them, and they run to the truck, and they're yelping and howling and sniffing, and they find nothing. And so the next month, same day, same time, horizon, truck, he has one of those hydraulic, lifts, and he pulls the truck apart, and everything, every corner, nothing. And so it goes, month after month, year after year, until our guy is ready to retire. And so they throw him big old retirement party. They give him a nice little watch. He gives back his gun and he gives back his badge. And there's just kind of one thing he has to do, So he walks over to the post. And he stands there, and sure enough, same time, the truck arrives. And he sort of waves the truck down gently, not with authority, with doubt. And he walks to the driver and says, look, no more badge, no more gun. I've retired. I have no authority over you, but I can't go home before I know. Tell me, all these years, you're smuggling something, right? And the driver says, of course. And the guy says, really? What? And the driver says, trucks. Now, I love this story. It's an old Talmudic tale. I love this story because I think it's the perfect meta story for how to tell stories. And it's a perfect meta story for how to tell a specific kind of story that is very loaded, that is packed, that carries a lot of meaning. Bless you. Once again, like the stories that we've heard here tonight, like every story worth a damn, like every story trying to make meaning of huge topics like war and peace. And so, when I was asked to give a very, very short teaching here tonight, I had no doubt of which biblical story I would want to teach. This one is not fake. It is the story of Sisera, the great Canaanite warrior. So mighty was he that there's a little story about him in the Talmud that when he would just amble in the forest, the small animals were so terrified that they froze until he walked by them. He was a mighty king. And one day he decides to wage war on the Israelites. And he comes with 900 chariots. And he comes with the equivalent of 4 million soldiers. And the Jews have 10,000 people, maybe even less. But of course they have God on their side. And so they smite the Canaanites, and Sisera is dazed and confused, and something happened to him that never happened to him before. He's just defeated. Usually his battles, the Talmud tells us, used to take 2, 3, 4 hours max. And so he stumbles into this tent, and he sees a woman there, Yael. And he says to her, "Can you give me water?" This big, wounded warrior, this fallen giant, asking for a bit of decency, for a bit of mercy. And Yael says, "Sure, of course I can." She hands him a bowl of milk. And as he drinks and gets sleepy from the beautiful, delicious drink that she had handed him, with her left hand, she takes the peg of the tent and strikes him in the temple, and he falls dead. What a story. What a great Wonder Woman-esque moment of violence and meaning and terror. And you would expect that this would be the moment that we would rejoice, that we would be the moment that we would accept the simplicity of the account, that this would be the moment that we said the point has been delivered. In fact, quite literally delivered. It has been stuck into our brains. And here's what the Bible does. It cuts to Sisera's mother. She's standing there at the window. She's looking through the lattice work. The detail is very specific. She's wondering, why isn't he coming? And the Bible records in great detail the responses of her advisors, her friends, her companions, are saying, "Oh, don't worry. They're probably just busy pillaging, They're probably just raping a bunch of women or stealing a bunch of beautiful clothes. That's the kind of stuff that you do after a war. You know how it is." But Sisera's mother feels something. She understands. And she starts weeping, sobbing, yowling uncontrollably. The Haggadah tells us that an angel of mercy came down at that moment and counted her wails. There were exactly 100 of them. Which is why, on Erev Rosh Hashanah, one of the holiest days of the Jewish year, when we blow the shofar, we make exactly 100 sounds. On our holiest day, we remember the wails of the mother of our fiercest enemy. Because our stories of war and peace are not stories of vengeance. They're not cries for battle, and they are never ever meant to be taken as any monolithic invitation for horrible, terrible, divinely ordained deeds. They're meant to be questioned. They're meant to be doubted. They're meant to be thought over, and they're meant always to be an invitation to a dialogue, the sort of which we're all engaging in here tonight. And so, without further ado, onwards to Jess. Thank you very much.